Thanks so much, Derek. Well, when the answers to the most difficult questions are the ones that lead us to our truest selves, would you trust the outcome to a coin toss? All right. Well, this question gets answers in Kate Laack's book, While the Coin is in the Air, and we have the author here to share the journey with us. Kate, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we've been looking so forward to it.
Yeah, this is great.
Yes. So tell us about your book.
Sure. So this is my second novel, and it's not a sequel to the first book, but it was always kind of going to be the story of what came next. So my first book is about heartbreak and kind of finding your true love, and this is the story about once you found your person and you have your partner, kind of what does it look like to build that life that you envision for yourself. So it starts with my main character, Harper, who is on the precipice of going to law school, and then her mother gets diagnosed with cancer. And so she makes the decision to defer law school, and the story jumps 12 years, and she's married, living in Chicago, working as a paralegal, and she never went to school. And she's kind of doing all the things that you expect and building the life, and has the marriage, and she and her husband are struggling to start a family, and then the opportunity to go to law school comes back up. And then in that moment, in that tension, how do you decide, do I go after the thing I thought I wanted? Do I keep going on the track that I was on? What's kind of the social expectation and obligation that I have to my husband and to the family versus what I really wanted for myself and my personal ambition? So the coin toss is, you know, a reference to making the decision, but I actually heard an adage a while ago about when you toss a coin in the air, it's not so much about whether the coin lands head or tails, it's about knowing in the moment that it's in the air about what you want it to land. So that becomes the motif throughout the story every time she's making the decision, kind of that, what's it going to be and what do you want it to be, and how do you blend those two things together to make the right choice?
Right, and those big, huge life decisions like that are hard to take on, just hard to even wrap your head around. Like, should I move for the job? Should I stay here? Should I, you know?
That's absolutely right. And I think the thing, you know, I wrote it from a place, you know, as a women's fiction author, of kind of the tensions that women face, balancing career and family and children and ambitions. But I think it's really a universal experience to say we all face those moments where we know what we want and it might not be what we thought we wanted, and we had a plan A and we're on plan B, and just that tension is hard to navigate, and it's messy.
It is, and it's hard to like pick through and take away what's the social expectation and know which things are outside of yourself and which things are actually what you want.
And it's one of those things too, I think, you know, we talk about things as a society really well, like we're more connected than ever. We can get on social media, we can see what those expectations are, we can compare ourselves to what other people are doing. And then when you sit back and look at yourself and your own circumstances and you go, well, what if I don't want that? What if my reality doesn't look like that? What if my decisions are different? And we don't talk about that piece as much. We don't do that as well.
No, we don't do that as well. Yeah, we do the showing off part real good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I think as much as we don't want there to be expectations or preconceived ideas of what we think our future looks like, no matter what, you kind of have them anyway. You know, even if you've never thought to yourself, oh, I imagine myself married with 3 children, you have some ideas in there anyway.
I think that's right. And I think there are things that, you know, whether we intend them for ourselves or not, or the people around us intend them for. You know, I went to school originally to be a lawyer and was going to go to law school, so that piece comes through biographically in the book. When I switched my major to education, there were so many reasons that I did it for me that were great, but there was also, you know, the conversations I had with other people that became, you know, oh, but you're just going to be a teacher, and oh, you're not going to go to law school, right? That there's a prestige and an expectation.
Because lawyer is here and teacher's here.
That's right. So even having some of those conversations, you know, when you know what's right for you, and maybe you didn't even make, you know, the choice because you felt pressure from other people, there's other people's reactions and kind of what feels like the consequences of the choice after you've made it.
Absolutely. It does feel like the consequence, and you can say all day long, you know, you don't apologize and all these things, but in the end, you're the one that has to sit with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have more time with Kate when we come back. We're going to keep that conversation going right after the break.